Hello guys and welcome to a new Wargame video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you the second of the two 1v1s between Patton and Random from the Economy Promotion Tournament. And today we're going to be seeing them playing on Nuclear Winter is Coming. It's a very large map which has a lot of strategic opportunities, which makes use of both amphibious units and helicopter units. But it'll be interesting to see if either player decides to utilize any of those sort of troops, or whether we'll actually just see them, change their decks up a little bit and try something different from the last game. So if you didn't know about the economy tournament, the idea was that each player plays 2 games against each other, and then basically whoever's on top at the end in terms of wins and losses wins overall. So it was a massive round robin basically. Unfortunately, the tournament's kind of been ended early, so I only really have 6 games from the tournament to show you guys, but hopefully they're all going to be extremely interesting, with obviously top ranked players playing against each other. So some nice competitive games to keep us going for a while, and yep, they're all going to be on economy. So as you can see at the start of the game, starting with 1,500 points again, and they are already spending pretty much all of them in order to get their advantage. So let's just have a quick look at the unit compositions. It looks like Patton's deciding to take an American deck this time round. So at the bridge we have 2 M113s, well actually 4 M113s, probably with riflemen. Then we've got an Avenger, a Chaparral, and an M1 IP Abrams. Behind that we have an M1 IP Abrams, or 2 of them, and an M1A1 Abrams with 2 M48A3 Chaparrals, 2 M113s with probably more riflemen, and the M35 there with likely Rangers or something similar, some sort of recon infantry. Anyway, in these twin Hueys, we've got probably US Marines, I would guess. And they are going to be covered by some OH-58CSs, and these are infrared anti-air helicopters. So we are going to see some helicopter play. And then we've got these 2 M113s at this bridge with an M1 IP Abram, 2 Avengers, and a couple more M113s there that I missed, so 4 overall. And over on the other side we have Random with very similar unit compositions. So we've got a couple of Humvees there with some small squads, some M113s with riflemen. We've got the V150 with Navy SEALs, the Humvee CP, the M1 IP Abrams, an Avenger. Over on this side we actually have an LVTP, that's interesting, some actual amphibious units coming into play here. And alongside that we've got some more Humvees, so 4 of those with smalls. We've got 4 V105s with Navy SEALs. That's an incredible amount of Navy SEALs to bring in at the beginning. And then we got these 2 Avengers and an LAV C2. So I think the V150s are actually amphibious. Yes, they are. 40 km/h across water. So that might be why he's chosen to bring in quite a few of those. And on the bottom side, as you can see, a couple of Humvees with the small squads. Actually, is that 3 Humvees? Yeah, 3 Humvees and 4 rifleman squads and a Humvee CP there. So 3 or 4 command vehicles for Random from the start. And over on the other side, I don't think I saw many actual command vehicles. We've got one going across the bridge here to Gulf. We've got one in India, and I don't think there's one here, is... Oh, yes, there is. Okay. There's one M15, 1A1 CP there. So that's going to be capturing Hotel. So only 3 for Patton at the start, and that could really affect his gameplay throughout this game, because he will be at a disadvantage for points the entire time. And a nice message there from Patton saying he's going to lose. Yeah. Good to have faith in yourself. Confidence is a winner. So we're going to see Random move up quickly here with the Humvees, very, very fast on road. Then we've got the V150. Basically, any wheeled units are always going to be like 150 kilometers per hour speed, I think it is. Yeah, on road. And therefore, they can maneuver very quickly. I like this quick rush from Patton, though, getting his infantry up into Delta. That's going to prevent the push here from Random, although he does have to be careful about these Avengers. They are going to be taking out these OH-58CSs very quickly, one shot each. And, well, I guess it's covered him getting the light rifleman into the town. And these twin Hueys might also get shot down if he's not careful. Just keep an eye on that. But down the bot side, we've got these smalls being dropped off into these buildings. The twin Hueys are going to go down here. Light rifleman actually managing to pick off one of the Humvees, killing off an infantry squad in those. One of the small squads completely wiped out. And wow, the Navy SEALs coming in nice and strong into these light riflemen, going to take them out pretty much immediately in order to gain control of the town in Delta. He's already captured it with the LAV C2 there, and you can see that he is actually using an armoured CV in the most contested sector, and that's something you should always make use of. Now, these small squads are going to stop the M1 IP from advancing onto this location, and he's got to be careful that this Avenger doesn't get caught out trying to snipe any aircraft. Prowler coming in to check for any radar AA. Nice move there, but with these extra infantry units coming into the town, the cavalry scouts here are just going to get taken out by the Navy SEALs. I think that's a bit of a risk, putting them straight into the town there. We've got the M1 IB Abrams actually staying in range of these two small squads. That could be very, very risky. F-15D Eagle, though, coming in, dropping 4 1,000 kilogram bombs. And that got rid of those small squads. Well, at least most of them. One man left in that squad. Just about managed to dodge it out in time. The Navy SEAL squad there, though, I think took a lot of damage as well. M1 IP Abrams engaging in the forest with the LVTP-7A1, and they are going to be destroying these riflemen squads with the grenade launcher there, although this M1A1 Abrams has actually got a really nice flanking position onto these tanks, and as you can see, it did manage to take out one of the M1 IP Abrams there, the M1A1 actually being 100 times better in this situation. But now this M1A1 actually has to be careful of these US Marines. They have a very fast-firing heat rocket that they at their disposal, and that's going to do a lot of damage to this M1A1, even though it is hitting it in the front armor. You know, 1 damage per hit because it's a heat rocket is always going to be extremely useful. The V150 there being destroyed by the grenade launchers of the LVTP-7A1s, which are carrying Patton's own small squads. Maybe something to deal with those M1 IPs. The V150s and the M113s here being pushed up down the road to basically scout for him. And they are covering the advance of the riflemen here and the M1 IP Abrams. The riflemen being pretty much destroyed by this tank, which is to be expected, but with the M1 IP actually focusing on the rifleman squad, this M1 IP from Random has got the first shot onto the Abrams there and almost destroyed it. Oh, a A-10 Thunderbolt coming in. Oh, really nice move there. Not often you see those. Just absolutely wrecked pretty much all the armor in the forest there, including the Avenger, which was basically the only counter to air attacks that Patton had in the area. F-15D Eagle coming in again, though. Likely going to get quite a few kills with those 1,000 kilogram bombs. Let's see how much damage it does. Well, pretty much all those infantry squads are destroyed, and that stray 1,000 kilogram bomb. Oh my lord, that went straight to the small squad that was actually hidden in the town. That was an amazing airstrike there from Patton. Incredible stuff. Okay, up in the top side, it looks like Patton's changed his attack to up here, and he's got these 2 rifleman squads coming down to take out the small squads with the help of the M1 IP Abrams, of course. And this M1 IP Abrams actually pushing very aggressively into this forest. He's got to be really careful of these rifleman squads. Well, the rifleman squads don't actually have an amazing anti-tank rocket, so they are going to be taken out by the fast rate of fire of the M1 IP Abrams very, very easily. The second one there helping take out the APC. And yeah, as you can see, he's just basically storming them down. The riflemen are only going to do a lot of damage if they hit that in the side armor. But the A10 Thunderbolt coming in again, paying dividends, taking out that Abrams. Really nice use of an A10 Thunderbolt. It's not often you see them because of the large amount of radar AA that people like to use. But in this game, there hasn't been much so far. You know, we've only got the Chaparrals and the Avengers being used. So that A10 Thunderbolt is having a whale of a time. Prowler coming in just to check for more radar AA as the A10 Thunderbolt is looking to make another pass. We'll see the Chaparral fire at the Prowler, and that will give away the anti-air presence there. Is going to get the evac from that Prowler, and the Thunderbolt is going to evac as well, even though it did just get a really nice hit onto this M1 IP Abrams, leaving it on 1 health. On the south side, we haven't really seen any extra push from Patton after he took out all that infantry there, and it's allowed Random to actually reinforce that. We've got some Navy SEALs down at the bottom. Looks like they've been engaged a little bit. But at the top, the fight continues as 2 rifleman units do push forwards onto these bunkered down riflemen. That's not going to help them out very much. This Humvee also providing 50 cal fire onto the backside there. Well, an F-15D Eagle coming in there with the 4,000 kilogram bombs, and, well, you know, took out those rifleman squads very easily, but killed his own in the process. So the Thunderbolt there being hit by one of the infrared missiles from the Chaparral, but no problem. Has plenty of health and actually armor to stop that from doing too much damage. AH-64D Longbow coming in. That's going to do a lot of damage because there is no anti-air for Random on this side of the map so far. He is kind of wasting the Hellfire missiles on the APCs though. But I guess he's going to be able to use the 30mm autocannon there to take out these infantry squads pretty easily. You can see a few volleys. Destroys that rifleman squad entirely. Now, he's got to be careful of this A10 Thunderbolt coming across because that will do a lot of damage to a longbow. US Marines being pushed into this forest. US Marine 90s. Very powerful squads there. 2 15-man squads. The Chaparral using up a lot of missiles to try and kill off this Prowler, and it does get the kill. That's going to be very important. But like I was saying, the A10 Thunderbolt is going to be coming in to attack the longbow there. Takes a direct hit from the Chaparral and the Avenger. Oh my lord. And he's going to lose the A10. Oh, wow. That was incredibly risky. And it almost actually took out the Avenger on the crash there. But, you know, that was very, very risky. This M1 IP Abrams, now facing off against 4 LVT P7A1s, is going to get stunned to hell by the grenade launchers. Unless he can kill them off quickly. But the US Marines are encroaching, and if he lets the rockets be fired, this M1 IP might not last very long. We'll have to wait and see. It would be good to see these LVTPs actually be used here to maybe stun this from the side. But nope, he's letting those LVTPs be destroyed by the riflemen there. The US Marines, though, managing to stun the Abrams now, and that will be taken out by the looks of things by a heat rocket. Surely. There we go. They took it out. Another A10 Thunderbolt being brought in. Being used to pick off the last LVTP there. But these US Marines actually in the bottom side of this town have actually moved up and found this small squad. That's going to be massive. Also took out this unit here. Is that just a... That's actually a Chaparral. Wow, an expensive unit there lost for Random. That's his long-range anti-air gone down up there. But this town well secured now. You know, his original Navy SEALs did a great job of holding this off. And Patton's only got a few small squads here really to push into that town at the moment. So he's really focusing his efforts on the top side where he's made some progress. He's got complete control of this town now. And these US Marines, well, looks like they didn't manage to get any shots onto the LVTPs there. So they are probably going to get taken out very easily. Couple of US Marine 90 squads from random actually coming in and attacking there. Two very, very similar decks coming out here against each other, and it's really interesting to see how they play out. Some good blue 4 versus blue 4 action. This LAVC2 actually creeping into the bottom of the sector here to capture it, as Patton has captured Charlie, so it's pretty important for random to do the same at Alpha so that he doesn't fall too far behind in this economy game. At the bottom, still nothing much going on. We'd like to see the rifleman squad possibly sneak up into this town, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to risk those squads just yet and is happy with his defensive position there. This sector at Delta is well secured, an extra +5 there for random that is not being given to Patton, so a huge advantage at the moment overall actually for random in this game. And now it looks like a huge amount of infantry coming in from random is going to put up a large amount of resistance against the push from Patton. Now, random has such a large amount of an advantage here because these extra 5 points from Delta are allowing him to spam this infantry so much, and this A10 Thunderbolt getting another kill onto an M1 IP Abrams. The air support from random just making so much difference, like it did in the last game as well with the longbows. So anyway, the US Marines scouting around here. We've got these 2 units of US Marines from Patton trying to catch out this 1 unit of US Marines from random, but the US Marines from random actually got into cover here, which is going to make it hard for the US Marines from Patton to actually face off against them unless he can get them into cover himself. This LVTP should probably be used as fire support, although it did take a rocket shot from the US Marines and therefore is panicked. But any US Marines in cover are pretty much always going to win, but now he's outnumbered. You know, these US Marines in the forest are actually in dense forest, so that is quite decent cover. And the small squads here, you know, they're going to come across and continue the pain. The LVTPs and the riflemen pushing through this forest now, coming across these M113s and taking them out very easily. US Marines from random died there in the town, but he has reinforced with these couple of extra US Marine 90s, but they're going to get hit really hard by the grenade launchers from these LVTPs. Got to be careful about that. And the couple of rifleman squads in the forest, well, they're being taken out by this LVTP right there, and the US Marine 90s are actually having a great time against the 2 rifleman squads on the top side of the forest. But the F-15D Eagle coming in, what's that going for? A snipe onto the CV. I can't help but think that was a little bit wasted. You know, there's no point really going for CV snipes when those 4,000 kilogram bombs could have really been used for something else. Got LVTP on LVTP action. Longbows there with the A10 Thunderbolt. You know, they are going to really be able to take out those LVTPs there with those very strong ATGMs. Couple of AH-1S Cobras coming in to shoot at these infantry squads from maximum range. The H-64D longbow from Patton though, doing just as much damage. Getting some really nice hits onto APCs carrying infantry, and wow! That longbow goes down to the chaparral of random there. Really nice kill. 3 Abrams though, pinning down these US Marine squads as they try and scuttle into the forest there. Looks like they just got into cover in time, but with only 4 men left overall. And now the push is on for Patton. Bringing up these M1 IP Abrams with this M1A1 leading the way. Luckily took no side shots with the M1A1. Is this chaparral going to get a second shot onto the lockbow? Oh my lord, that is a very important kill there. It's going to enable Patton to continue his push with the Abrams. Prowler actually coming in and getting a kill there. Not entirely sure what that was. Ah, P-Bads. Interesting choice of unit, but did give a kill to that Prowler. And with the heavy air support really gone from Random at the moment, the M1 IP is safe to continue advancing, so it is going to do just that, but into 3 units of riflemen this time. Is it going to be able to take them all out? I'm not entirely sure. And the riflemen are only going to be able to do 1 point of damage into the front armor, and he's got to be careful that he doesn't drive past them, giving them side shots. That could be very, very important there. Luckily, these riflemen out of ammo, and he's able to take advantage of that. The firing computer was reset there, so I don't think the Abrams can actually fire its main gun just yet, or if it can, it's very, very slow. Any US Marines coming into sight on this side of the forest are being chewed up by the AH-1S Cobras here with their Hydra rockets. But they have both run out of ammo now, so they are going to return to base while the assault continues. M1 IP Abrams coming up against these US Marine 90s. Gonna have to be careful that this LVTP doesn't panic this Abrams. But with the help of Patton's LVTPs, these US Marine 90s really don't stand a chance. You can see they're already stunned. This LVTP also stunned, is going to be taken out immediately. And, wow, a really successful push on the top side from Patton. On the bottom side, though, it looks like the Eagle came in again and bombed out a push from Random onto this side of Delta. And that was probably forced by the fact that Patton has actually contested Delta now with his own command vehicle. He's got these Navy SEALs here, could possibly use them to recon this vehicle. But this longbow here could be a problem. So US Marines versus Navy SEALs, 1-on-1. A couple of V150s being fired at by these US Marines, and now the LVTPs. Not going to stand much of a chance there. Navy SEALs coming out on top, of course, but the Twin Hueys minigun finishes them off. And now the A-10 Thunderbolt making a pass again, but the M48A3 Chaparral is right there, and he's got to be very careful that that doesn't kill off his Thunderbolt. So he uses the Thunderbolt from max range to take out the LVTP. Nicely done. Gonna stop the pressure onto his infantry. The M1 IP Abrams there needs to get a shot onto this LVTP before it takes out the M48 that's moving up. But it is routing. Oh my lord. That is not good, because this M48A3 is left out in the open at the moment. It's going to be taken out by the F-18C Hornet with its Maverick missiles. Incredibly well done there. And this A-10 Thunderbolt just flying into the M48A3 Chaparral there. Luckily, gets away with it. So some more air support coming in from Patton. He's got this air supremacy unit. These two M48A3 Chaparrals, they're going to do a lot of damage to these aircraft. The F-15D Eagle there is going to be shot down. The Phantom II coming in with some napalm. That's just going to get away from the F-16. Wow. Really nice dogfight ensuing. These M48s really doing a good job taking down that Eagle. So it's annoying that they didn't really take out the F-16, but the F-18 coming in again. And well, managing to take out one of those chaparrals, no problemo. And that's because the Hornet can actually fly incredibly fast. It's 1000 km/h speed with 40% ECM, so can be used in some cases to attack anti-air units. Randoms decided to retreat the M48 there into the town to get it out of line of sight so that it isn't taken out there. Oh, did these Navy SEALs kill off the command vehicle and hotel? I think they did. A nice move there from Random on the bottom side, especially considering Patton's so focused on this top side with his push actually taking over Alpha completely now. Random doesn't have a single unit really in the sector other than this LVTP. This twin Hueys spotted out these US Marine 90s as well, and if he's not careful, Random's going to lose the squad to a twin Huey, which could be quite embarrassing. LVTP, is that going to save the day? It might just do with its M2 Browning machine gun. There we go. There's some extra units being brought in. A couple of PVADS units being fired upon by the Prowler. Took out one of them. LVTP with the US Marines here, assaulting the US Marines in the town. I think he's left this town a bit exposed. And this one US Marine unit actually defending that could be a bit of a mistake, because it might allow Random to reposition in the bottom side of this sector and then be able to push up through the town, which is exactly what he wants to do with his infantry. F-18 being brought up again. Looks like that's Patton's choice of anti-tank aircraft, as opposed to Random's choice of the A-10 Thunderbolt. So the F-18 Hornet is more of like a hit-and-run aircraft, whereas the A-10 is very much sort of, you know, it's going to stick in the sky, it goes quite slow, and, you know, it does a lot of damage, and it can take a few hits as well. Whereas the F-18 is like very much just bam, and then get out of there. If it gets hit, it might get shot down pretty easily. So the A-10 actually coming in again here is getting stunned and then evac'd there by the PVADs, forcing that. But a couple of missiles were fired and did actually take out a very expensive Abrams on the edge of the forest there. But he's trying to do his best to reinforce this, and he's actually bought up an M1A2 Abrams there. Extremely expensive, but it is going to be supported by the M1 IP and the LVTPs, of course. So it looks like Random's going to try and return the favour here by pushing back against Patton with Abrams. This longbow now being brought up is being used to fire at these LVTPs, and it's going to take out one of them. Just weakening up the defences a little bit before pushing onwards. But the PVADs there is firing at the longbow. Is it going to get taken out? Yes, it is. Unfortunately, the longbow goes down to the help of the PVADs and the chaparral. The Phantom 2 coming across from Random is going to set up the attack for his Abrams, although that did just get shot down by a couple of shots from the M48A3 chaparral there. But he's basically just napalmed that part of the forest so that he can make sure that there's no infantry there, and he can sweep through the top side of the sector while the majority of Patton's forces retreat to the bottom side. Now the M1 IP Abrams there, using its machine gun to attack the Black Hawk. With the attack move, that has left him out in the open, and the F-18 Hornet comes in there, takes out one of the LVTPs and the M1 IP for pretty much nothing. PVAD's taken out by the Prowler, I think. Did that actually get a kill? I'm not entirely sure it did. And the M1 IP, well, no match for the M1A2. A10 Thunderbolt, is it going to get the kill? Yes, it is. Oh, also got a lovely shot onto a second M1 IP there. And also got away with that attack nicely. The Phantom 2 from Random coming across. Luckily gets away with flying directly over the M48 and didn't even drop its payload. So an actually quite successful attack into the top side of the sector here did clean out the majority of the threatening units, but is still going to be at a disadvantage in the sector whilst Patton holds the middle forest here. So 13 minutes left in the game, and currently Random's actually at a lead, although he's just spent some more points there trying to recuperate his advantage in Alpha. So that actually just put Patton into the lead with the 136 reinforcement points. That is constantly going to change, so I can never really get that exactly right. But the F-16 at Block 52 there, air supremacy aircraft from Random. Just going to try and stop any other airstrikes from the F-18. Phantom 2 coming in. Is that going to land some napalm directly on top of the M48? Not quite. M48 getting away with that quite nicely. Now on the backside, was this a Navy SEAL squad that was trying to take out the M15, or is Patton just getting paranoid? I'm not entirely sure. There was actually Random's attack order, put it right on top of the M15. So yeah, that must have been the Navy SEAL squad from down here actually snuck up here. Sorry, I can't keep track of all this at once. It's pretty hard when you haven't seen the gameplay before to keep track of all the stuff on the map like that. But anyway, an assault coming in from M1 IP Abrams and the LVTP 7A1 there, trying to push onto the US Marines at the top of Alpha. And this is really where Random needs his F-16. But it looks like the F-18 is going to be evac there, so no problem for now. So now a large push from these M113s. Just about dropped the rifleman out there in time before the M113s got taken out. It is actually going to allow these M113s possibly to get into these compounds. That could be a big issue for Patton. But all this firepower is actually going to completely chew up the US Marines there. This LVTP providing fire support from the top side with its grenade launcher. And an LAVC-2 actually being snuck into this sector at the top, although there's two LVTPs here being pushed in with a couple of small squads, and he hasn't got it defended by very much at all. That's incredibly risky there from Random. He's got to get these two small squads up as quickly as possible to take care of these LVTPs, otherwise that LAVC-2 is completely toast. The AH-64D longbow here could get a nice shot onto the M1A1 Abrams. It's going to be a huge loss if he actually does lose that. And he does indeed. M48A3 Chaparral just about too slow to stop that longbow from getting the kill. Nighthawk though being brought in, got a direct hit onto the top of the M1A2 Abrams. And the push is on from Random. These riflemen chewing up the US Marine squads that were defending. These F-18 Hornet coming in. Patton desperately trying to defend against this. LAVC-2 actually forced out of the top of this sector here. These two small squads there doing enough damage to really make that a risky play. It would be nice to see this M1A2 actually pushed up to help take out these small squads. Now I know the small squads do have obviously anti-tank weaponry, but in this case I think in order to secure his CV in the sector, that would be a very important move. An M728CV being brought up to help with any entrenched infantry. The riflemen though still continuing their attack through the forest there. On the bottom side, all is still peaceful in the middle at Delta. Still nothing much going on. It's all about this top side sector here at Alpha. So it looks like the choice was to bring in a Phantom 2 there to take out the small squads, but didn't even get the hit on target and got the Phantom 2 shot down. Now this is going to lead the small squads into the M1A2 Abrams of Random, and I believe now Random's going to be able to get the command vehicle into the back of Alpha, so that's nice. Is that Patriot actually going to get taken out by the Prowler? Yes, it is. Not often you see a seed plane actually succeed against the Patriot. Incredibly good hit there, and actually managed to get out before the M48A3 got a second shot there. So now the A10 Thunderbolt being brought in. Is that going to be able to kill off the Chaparral? Don't think it is. PVAD's getting a nice amount of hits onto that A10. Is it going to take it out? Going to be very close. Oh, not quite. Okay. So, A10 Thunderbolt surviving for another day. Oh, Twin Huey there being shot down by the M48A3 Chaparral. Is the second one going to go down as well? No, he's going to stop that just before. Oh, actually it is. But the F-18 Sea Hornet spotting that out and taking it out nicely. Took a hit from the other M48A3 Chaparral, and a nice hit there from one of Patton's bombers to actually kill off the CV from Random. And now look at this. The small squads with the US Marines and the LVTP 7A1s now pushing back the weaker rifleman squads of Random. We've got the F-16 there being attacked by the PVADs as well, forcing a evac there. And at the bottom side, look at this. We've got these LVTPs actually being pushed into the backside of Delta, really catching out Random, and he's got to kill these off before they spot the LAV-C2 here. Else that's going to be in big trouble. There we go, luckily taking both of those out, but I wouldn't be surprised if Patton did manage to spot out the LAV-C2 there. So a couple of M60s actually being brought up to help support his riflemen, but Random's already lost all of his infantry there, and they are just vulnerable now to the LVTPs and the US Marines. Getting panicked as they try and retreat. Random now bringing up some more riflemen to try and make another push into this sector. But now Patton really taking the lead, as he's forcing Random to push back against him in Alpha. Random's just wasting so many points that Patton is actually saving up in this case. A nice side shot from the small there actually takes out an M60. So Random really has to make this count, because it's getting very close to the end of the game. Only 5 minutes and 30 seconds left. And if he doesn't push out Patton from this sector, he's going to have a hard time recuperating the points he needs to actually win the game. The Twin Huey flying directly over an M48 there. Of course it's going to get shot down. The M1 IP Abrams with his M60 are going to be pushing on to these US Marines. Bit risky because there is a lot of US Marines there. But as long as these US Marine squads are actually stunned, it won't matter too much. These riflemen though took a beating from the grenade launcher from the LVTP on the bottom side of the forest there. You can see just the spread of the fire is just hitting all of those squads as they are clumped up, and if he's not careful, those rifleman squads are just going to get taken out by like a single grenade launcher shot. But a Nighthawk comes in there, finishes them off anyway. So that doesn't matter. Last unit of US Marines is going to be taken out there alongside its LVTP. Rifleman pushing in the bottom side of Alpha. M1 IP there from distance attacking these US Marines. And with the long-range support of these M113s, actually, I wouldn't be surprised to see these riflemen win out against these riflemen unless another aircraft comes in to change the balance there. A lot of units being pushed up. Oh, this F-16 picking off its prime target, the F-18. Really nice job there. But is that going to get taken out? Oh, the M48 not hitting the vital shot there. And Random's actually, brought this back. He's completely pushed back Patton at Alpha. But as you can see by the score, Patton is going for the victory. He's saving his points. Random is by no means going to have the power to push across the entire map and stop Patton from winning this game. So, by the looks of things, it looks like Patton might actually win due to playing the economy game mode perfectly. He managed to push past his own position at Charlie, contest Alpha, forced Random to put so many points into taking that back that he actually left his opponent in the lead. I think that's a wonderful play there from Patton to secure this victory. Now, it's really nice to see Random obviously take back Alpha, but I don't think there's any way that he is going to be able to rampage across the map quick enough to stop Patton from actually winning this game just by score. So the only way he is going to be able to beat him by score at the moment is if he uses helicopter CVs, snipes all of Patton's undefended CVs, and then captures all those sectors himself and hopes that he gets enough income in order to get enough points to win the game. But so far, Patton can afford to reinforce with a couple of Humvee TOW 2s there, although they are being picked off by this AH-64D longbow, but not for long, as the Avenger takes care of that. Did get taken out by itself by a stray Hellfire missile, but this Avenger might actually get a kill onto the Thunderbolt as well. Oh wow, 4 missiles in a row actually taking out that AH-64D longbow. Also a Nighthawk got shot down. That is disgusting. You do not want to see a Nighthawk go down. The reason they are so good is because they never get shot down, but that one certainly did. And as you can see, Patton now owns over 80% of the command points needed to win. And it's not going to be long until he actually does. The M1 IP almost taking a side shot there from the light rifleman squad. 50 seconds left on the clock though, and it's pretty certain that Patton's going to win this one. So overall, at the end of the game, Patton stopped reinforcing, so it's likely to see that he has got less on the map overall. Random did a really nice job of taking back Alpha and now running over Charlie as well, but it doesn't matter at this point in the game. It's too late. He really needs to start saving points himself by not pushing so hard into Alpha, but then if he hadn't have pushed into Alpha, then he never could have won anyway, unless Patton decided to waste his points on stuff. That's pretty much just how it goes. This game mode is really about taking an advantage and sticking with it as long as you can. And by doing that, you will pretty much always come out on top. And Patton did that perfectly on that top side. Contested every other sector he needed to. And as you can see, it was an incredibly close game in terms of kills and losses. Patton actually came out worse in terms of kills to losses than Random did. But won overall because he decided to save his points at the perfect time at the end of the game there. So, an incredibly awesome, close game. Plenty of tussling between the two American decks. Something that you don't see very often. Obviously, American decks you see a lot, but I mean, America versus America isn't a very common sight. So, perfect. Just a really nice game there. We actually saw an economy victory this time round, rather than in the last game. You know, Patton gave up once he lost his advantage, which is, you know, kind of what leads up to an economy victory. But in this case, Patton did a lot better, managed to take an advantage and stick with it long enough that it allowed him to win by economy victory. And really, really good job, well done. So yeah, Random still coming out on top of the kills, and unfortunately it's really annoying that we can't see the kills from each unit, but I'm pretty sure, you know, we would have seen some really nice kill tables from the A10s there. Anyway, that's an entire 40-minute game. My voice needs a rest, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.